This is Innovate Africa, a new series highlighting innovation and creativity across a continent on the rise.
Today, crowd farming, how to become an online cattle owner in Ghana.
Your cow will be created within the next 24 hours.
I want to be too close to the one with the big horns. Mobile phones revolutionizing farming in Kenya.
It's almost like a wiki for agriculture.
Unpacking crops' DNA in the search for new food sources for Africa.
We're almost looking for a sort of super plant.
I love solving problems.
And the young Kenyan with a solution to protecting livestock from lion attacks. Despite the rapid pace of change, agriculture remains the backbone of most African economies, providing employment and food for millions of people. Developing innovative food security solutions is high on the African agenda and key for meeting the poverty targets of the Millennium Development Goals for 2015. Lake Volta is the world's largest man-made lake. It was created in the 1960s as part of a hydroelectric power project. But the development has come at a price. The most fertile land is now submerged, and the soil in the surrounding areas is sandy and lacking in nutrients. With a growing population to feed, local farmers face an uphill struggle to supply the Accra markets. Meat production is an important source of food in Ghana, but traditional cattle farmers cannot keep up with the country's demands. I've come to Accra to meet a man who has come up with a high-tech way to attract investment and make farmers more efficient. It's called crowd farming. Here in Ghana, there's a deficit of thousands of tons of meat each year, and beef imports have doubled over the past 10 years. It's currently cheaper to import meat from South America and the United Kingdom than to buy local meat. Kamal Yakub is a local innovator who believes that the answer is to take cattle farming online.
I am not just doing farming the way our old people used to do it. I'm doing farming with technology.
He has created Farmville, a virtual online farm where people all over the world can browse local Ghanaian farms and invest in the livestock of smallholder farmers. They do it by buying all or part of a virtual cow.
All you have to do is you go to start a new cow. There you would see the farmer on whose farm you want to have your cow.
Because people, before they even start the cow, they start off by choosing the farm.
Exactly.
So you've got all the information about it, video clips,
How
and
he
so people
does his
can
things
select
and
which farmer.
Yeah.
Each virtual cow is divided into 20 pieces. Cow backers can buy just one piece or a whole cow if they wish. When the cow has 20 supporters, the cow is linked to a real animal.
So it actually becomes real for people.
It's real, yeah. What name do you want to give to your cow? Something like this. The ninja cow, he munches using still techniques.
Moominator.
Moominator. So part cow, part machine. That part is what we call repackaging and rebranding agriculture for the youth to love it.
So we can call him Gomo.
Gomo?
The investors can follow the progress of their animal, interact with the farmer, and profit once the cow has been harvested.
It's a very interactive platform we're creating for.
But Farmville goes much further than allowing investors to adopt a cow. It's a means of centralizing information on the cow's health, welfare, and ultimate readiness for slaughter.
In the olden days, people come together and actually help someone grow something. Now with technology, we are not limited by boundaries anymore. People around the world can come together, chip in, and help someone to farm. Apart from playing a part in ending extreme poverty, you also have returns on investment at the end of the year, which means that the system is sustainable, helping people stay in business.
Mr. Amati is one of the first farmers to pilot the project.
With this process, all you have to do is to tag them, and then when they come in, we can monitor them and track them and give you SMSs on your cattle.
Farmville will roll out in full over the next few months. These cows are some of the first to enter the Farmville database. High-tech ear tags allow them to be traced via RFID technology, which can also be used so that farmers can be contacted via SMS if cows get lost or stolen. But tagging the cows is not as easy as Kamal made it look.
I don't want to be too close to the one with the big horns.
Farmville could revolutionize meat farming in Ghana. Crowd farming will bring vital investment to small rural farmers, while the tagging technology and the centralized database give small farmers access to advice and information, meaning bigger profits and better meat.
The answer to food security in Africa is not only found in the fields, but also in the hands of scientists. The very DNA of some crops could be the key to abundant and nutritious food for the future.
Today, I'm on a bit of an adventure in Nairobi. I'm visiting the World Agroforestry Center, going back to my roots in the world of science, and I'm going to explore some of the work they're doing with Africa's backyard crops. They're exploring their genetic makeup in a bid to ensure food security. Ramni, how are you? I'm Tafuma.
Welcome to Fuma. Welcome to the World Agroforestry Center.
Nice to meet you. I haven't been in a lab in years.
The role of science and technology in food security is critical. The very DNA of some plants and trees is providing answers.
Africa is hungry. Our children are hungry. Do you know 23 million children go to school hungry every day in Africa? While many of them look very well fed, they are actually malnourished because they don't have the nutrients that they need. Most of our farmers are practically living on 5 crops, so, rice, maize, wheat, potatoes, all starch. It's not only about starch. If these children don't have the nutrients for their cognitive development, do you imagine what kind of leaders we will produce in the future?
While crops like maize and wheat have received much attention from international breeding programs, there are several other species known as underutilized or orphan crops that have much to offer.
Orphan crops have been neglected by the rest of the world. They have not been improved, yet they are very important to smallholder farmers in Africa. These crops have high nutritional value. They're adapted to their soils, dry climates. They haven't had anyone adopting them and saying, let's improve you and let's grow you into something.
Many indigenous African fruit and vegetables which have been part of the landscape for centuries are about to undergo a renaissance.
So we're almost looking for a sort of super plant.
Yeah, we're all looking for super things. So we're also looking for super varieties, super breeds for all our orphan crops.
So what goes on in this area?
Here we try and start up the material because we need the DNA to get the sequencing going. So first we have young seedlings and we pick up the leaves from here and then start the DNA extraction. We have selected 101 crops from almost 10,000 crops. And now with this technology, we don't have to just look outside the crop. We can go inside the crop and see what can we select that we want to move on in our breeding programs, using DNA information patches to select what we want. Can you imagine the huge potential? We could ensure there's high vitamin A, like the high vitamin A rice that is available now. Micronutrients galore. With climate change, we could have crops which are adapted to dry land, water logging. The opportunities are, it's a treasure. Okay, so let me introduce you to Dr. Alice Machugi. She's the Gene Bank Manager, the Global Gene Bank Manager.
What exactly is going on here?
One of the species we have here is called Cyzisium. It's an African species. Good, the fruits are very rich in vitamin C. So what we've come for here is for the leaves, because the DNA for sequencing is extracted from the leaves.
Okay.
So we just need about a centimeter square of this leaf to start the DNA extraction.
So I'm keen to give it a try. Do you mind?
Oh, sure, you can. Here are some gloves for you.
Thank you. How big a piece am I cutting here?
Cut a piece like that one. That's great.
Okay, so from here, we head back to the lab.
We head back to the lab.
All right, let's go. So this is where the DNA extraction happens.
Yes, because
In order to extract the DNA from the crop samples, clippings must be frozen in liquid nitrogen so that they can be ground into a fine powder.
Can you try yours?
Okay. Let's see if I've still got it.
Don't fear. Just flavor. You're doing well. You're doing great. Wow.
It's like riding a bicycle.
Yes, now you have your powder. So you make sure you thoroughly crush it up, because if you don't do that, you're not going to get good DNA at the bottom. I just need, let me see. Wow, yeah, you've done it quite well. It's already a good fine powder, ready to go to the next step. Good.
So this is our sequencing lab.
Yeah.
We've got 4 new sequencers. They're called ion protons. Each of them costs more than $250,000.
Wow.
The DNA has been prepared there, and we come and develop what we call libraries.
By breaking the DNA composition down into its basic building blocks, the scientists can then identify markers that enable them to select the specimen's most sought-after characteristics to breed from.
Within a day, a plant which is 1 gigabase, we could do that. In the past, that would have taken 7, 8, 10 years.
It's phenomenally fast now.
Yeah. I mean, the opportunities for health, food security, disease control, it's phenomenal.
Apart from fruit and vegetable crops, several trees with exceptional nutritional properties are also on the agenda. The baobab was the very first plant specimen to be sequenced here at the World Agroforestry Center.
Baobab is highly nutritious. It has twice as much calcium than milk. Did you know that?
No,
By the way,
actually.
did you know that? Isn't that amazing? And we don't give our children baobab milkshake. It has almost 4 times the amount of potassium compared to bananas, 15 times antioxidants compared to oranges. The leaves are highly nutritious, more than spinach. So what we're trying to do through domestication is to shorten that life cycle so that the trees start fruiting within 5 years. And they're not only in the forests, we start putting them in farmers' fields so that they can generate some income from selling to the private sector. Why can't our crops be like cocoa, which is all over the world? We are hoping that the national governments will invest in the breeders to capture this information and put it into their breeding programs. Let's rise to the challenge.
Kenya is a country with a rich agricultural heritage and a history of traditional farming. But now, mobile phone technology is set to transform Kenyan cattle farming.
Paul Guchu is a Kenyan dairy farmer. For some time, he has been struggling to make his small dairy herd profitable. Then he discovered iCow. It's a mobile app that provides him with information and agricultural tips.
I have a few messages from iCow. That is an update. So they are saying she may be pregnant, be ready to do a PD test in 4 days' time. They'll tell you how to increase milk production. They'll tell you how many kgs to feed it, Though at times it's challenging, it works. It works for me.
iCow was invented by agri-tech entrepreneur Sue Kahumbu. Sue runs the iCow office from her organic farm just outside Nairobi.
This here is a contraption. The animals would have shade, but the big birds couldn't get little ones. So they grow up in here basically, and then they'll come out when they're a little bit bigger. We started as the first mobile app in the agricultural space, I think actually on the continent.
To get started, farmers register on iCow using a free SMS number.
If you want to register for our services, you dial *285, go to number 2. You receive 3 SMS a week at 3 shillings each. Select one to choose your tips.
Once they're registered, they're able to browse a menu offering a range of options.
Basically, that's the way it works. So you go in and all of the information comes to you based on your query as an SMS.
It's a simple phone.
Yes.
Simple technology, but it's a very sophisticated information network and distribution network.
Yep.
If a farmer is unable to find the advice he needs on the phone menu, the iCow office will put him in touch with someone who can help.
My name is Eve. I'm calling you from iCow.
The iCow team also uses the database of farmers to stay in touch and to find out how the service can be added to or improved.
I see that you have been using our services on Mashauri cow. How much milk did you used to get before? From the 3 cows, now you're getting 40 liters from 30 liters. So each cow gives you how many liters?
On our database of farmers, we have just over 600,000 who have touched base with the platform. And at any one point in time, about 150,000 that are using different products on the platform. The farmers who signed on will get 3 SMSs a week, so 12 SMSs a month, and slowly build up. We have got farmers who are now 600 messages later, only about cows. I mean, they're expert farmers. And the responses we're getting are absolutely amazing. Everything from increased milk yields to reduced mortality in poultry to, it's just amazing.
And iCow is growing. The platform will soon be expanding to include a project called Smart Farm Tips, a service designed to supply extensive information on a variety of livestock.
For you to be able to learn more about ticks, we have a feature called Smart Farm Tips, where you don't have to register. You can just go dial *285#, select number 3 for Smart Tips, and then under Smart Tips, check livestock, and from livestock, you can now check diseases and pests.
It's almost like a wiki for agriculture. Farmers can go on and search the menu, and when they search livestock, they'll get a menu that will drop down, giving them all the different animals within that space. Cows, poultry, goats, sheep, pigs, rabbits, camels, fish, even donkeys.
And it's so great that this doesn't rely on an internet network, you know?
No internet.
It seems really simple as well, very easy to use, very self-explanatory.
In the palm of a farmer's hand, he has access to literally everything that he needs to get it right. So hopefully taking the biggest risk out of farming and enabling farmers actually become more productive and increase incomes.
Protecting livestock from predators is a problem faced by many African farmers. Recently, I met someone who solved a complex problem using simple technology and creativity. Kitengela is a village on the border of the Nairobi National Park. This peaceful rural part of Kenya is home to a remarkable young man who came up with an invention that would not only save cattle, but have a major impact on lion conservation.
The lion and the human conflict has always been there. Even when I was born, Maasai were always killing lions.
Richard Turere grew up herding his father's cattle here in Kitengela, where lions regularly came from the neighboring reserve to attack his family's livestock.
So there's a border here, which is the river. The river is the border. So the lions just cross over.
Now 15, Richard still spends time herding cows, but his real passion has always been technology.
I love solving problems. I just wanted to know how stuff works. I remember I broke my mom's new radio and she got really very angry. She wanted to kill me, but I learned a lot about electronics.
Richard is a local hero. His homegrown cattle protection invention has taken him across the oceans to California and back again. But his big idea originated right here among the cattle.
We had a very big problem with the lions attacking our father's cows at night.
Almost daily attacks on the community's livestock left Richard's family desperate. In the region, cows are the #1 income generator for most families.
Was there ever an attack while you were watching the cattle?
Yeah, one day it attacked cows when I was there and actually killed. Yeah, they never stopped coming.
Richard was determined to come up with a solution to protect his father's cattle. He tried everything from lighting bonfires to scarecrows to electric fencing. Nothing worked.
We tried so many things. One of them was this use of branches, because we wanted to make a fence that when the lion comes at night, he would not be able to see the cows inside there. But it didn't work, and they would just step on them and then go inside and kill the animals.
One night, he made an interesting discovery.
So I discovered that the lions will not come if someone is patrolling around. So I made lights that will actually trick them that somebody was walking around, but they were not there.
And so the solar-powered lion lights were born.
So the solar is charged with this battery.
Richard figured out that by connecting LED lights to a solar-powered battery through an indicator from a motorbike, he could make the lights flash, mimicking a patroller's torch.
So this is
this is one of the lion lights, yeah.
Right.
This is how the lions get tricked that I'm walking around with the lights. Because normally at night, when you walk with a torch, it looks like it's flashing. Because you're walking, your footsteps are making the lights look like it's flashing. It tricks the lions that you're always patrolling around, and that time you'll be in your bed sleeping.
So what did your parents say when they saw that you had put all of this up and that it worked?
I think their final word was they were just proud of me.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Since installing the first set of lion lights over 2 years ago, Richard's family haven't lost a single cow to lion attacks. And that was only the beginning. News of his invention spread quickly. First his neighbors and then farmers across the country started commissioning Richard to install their own lion lights. Around the same time, a group of conservationists from Wildlife Direct, led by Dr. Paula Kahumbu, were conducting research into lion attacks on homesteads. When they came across Richard's remarkable invention, they put him forward for a scholarship at a top private school in Kenya. With the scholarship secured, Richard then pitched for a coveted spot at the 2013 International TED Talk Conference in California, and won.
Thanks. My community, the Maasai, they kill the lions. It's one of the 6 lions which were killed in Nairobi. I used to hate lions, but now because my invention is saving my father's cows and the lions, we're able to stay with the lions without any conflict.
I used to watch TED Talks, imagine, when I was a little boy, because my dad liked watching them. So I'll watch them, and I didn't imagine that one day I'll actually sit down and watch my own TED Talk.
Next time on Innovate Africa.
We wanted to build a platform that could really tell Africa's story in a new light.
Bringing Rwandan women into the high-tech workplace.
60% of the population has a cell phone, but less than 15% have access to electricity.
Solar-powered mobile phone charging kiosks.
I have never known really a world without computers.
Yeah. And who needs banks? Now Kenyans can run a business through their mobile phone.
It's in a butchery.
Next time on Innovate Africa.